Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about everything you need to know about becoming a UI designer. So if you are a new viewer, I would like you to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. And if you watch this video to the end and you find value in this video, I'd like you to drop a like and also share this video to someone who might be interested. Thank you. So without wasting so much time, let's head over to what is a user interface. So I'm very sure we've been hearing about UI, UX. So what is the UI in the UI, UX? The UI means user interface. So user interface simply means the visual parts of a software or an application that users can interact with, and this is usually displayed on the screen. So devices that have screens are usually where the user interface is displayed. So we have devices like your mobile phones, your computers, your TVs, anything that has a screen, usually where the user interface is displayed. So anything that has screens is usually where the interface is displayed. Like I just mentioned, your mobile phones, your TV screens, your computer, your laptops, your monitors, and anything that has screens, your user interface is being displayed on those screens. So what is user interface design? User interface design is a process of designing a user interface for a user. And who is a user interface designer? A user interface designer is someone whose job it is to design a user interface for users. So now that we know what a user interface is and who is a user interface designer, we have to look at what comprises of a user interface. It's very important to know what a user interface is comprised of. In UI design, it is called visual elements. Visual elements are elements that make up a user interface. So what are these visual elements? You should know that user interface is concerned about the aesthetic look. It's concerned about the visual look of a design. So your design has to be aesthetically pleasing and visually appealing to users. So let's head over to the visual elements. First of all, we have typography. What is typography? Typography is simply the text used in your design. We have different typefaces, we have different fonts, we have different style fonts, we have the widths, we have the H1, H2, and all of that. So the user interface is usually comprised of text. In fact, 70% of your user interface is text, and most times text convey messages that images can also convey. So typography is a very important part of the user interface design. So next we have layout. Layout simply means where things are arranged in the user interface. So I'm very sure we understand margins. So layouts are like margins. We have a left and right margin to properly align everything in the right place. So the layout is a very important part of the user interface. It makes your work look more organized and very professional. So if you're looking at an interface, check out for the layout and see and observe if things are in the right position or if things are not in the right position. Then you will know a good user interface or a bad user interface. Then the next is colors. So colors depict emotions. They depict messages to the viewers or to the users of an interface. Okay, so while designing or in a user interface, the colors are a very important part of an interface. An interface that doesn't have colors is usually it's not a bad interface per se, but the interface will kind of look dull. You understand? It will just be a dull interface. So colors brighten up your user interface. They brighten up your design, and these colors tell stories to the users. They give them different emotions. For example, we all know that red is kind of like signaling danger. So if you want to create a delete button on your user interface, you have to use red, or you have to have a signal that this is a negative action. Okay, so negative actions have like different colors, but it's up to you as a designer to know what to do. I'm just saying that red signifies danger, and also it can be depicted in your design or in any other design, either digital or physical. So now that we know that colors are important parts of a user interface, we head over to the next visual element, which is images and illustrations. Images and illustration help our user interface in conveying clear messages and clear indications. Okay, so if you're trying to write a text and probably you need an image to go with that, an image usually tells more stories than your text, so it's more easier for someone to look at an image and understand that this person is saying stop than actually reading stop. Do you get? So images and illustrations are important parts of a user interface design. So the next on the list is the brand identity. So your brand identity is a very important element in a visual interface. So this simply means that for every page, or as the user is interacting with your product, that your brand identity tells the user that they are still on your product. So they still know that they are using this particular mobile app, or they still know that they are using this particular website, since it is branded to your brand. So they know that they are still with you. For example, if you're using any of Google's products, at any page, you know that this is a Google page because your brand colors are everywhere. They have a particular type font, they have a particular typeface they use throughout their designs, and this is usually consistent. So brand identity is an important part of a visual element. It's an important part of a user interface design. So next is responsiveness and inclusivity. So this simply means that your user interface is designed to fit different screen sizes. So take for instance, a user interface is displayed on a desktop or a monitor, a very large one, and probably someone with a mobile phone is trying to access the same web page, and the person finds out that probably part of the design is like not showing because it's a smaller screen. So the user interface being responsive means that whatever is shown on that bigger screen is shown also on the smaller screen. So the design is automatically adjusted and displayed on different screen sizes. So you can display it on a tablet, you can also display it on your mobile phone and on your desktop or your monitor. Doesn't matter the kind of screen, your user interface should be responsive. And then the inclusivity means that no matter who is reading your web page, or no matter who is using your mobile application, they can easily access it, in the sense that you know that older people, they cannot read smaller texts because of their visual sights, because as they age they have like blurry vision. So if your design is, if the text you use in your design are kind of small, they will be squinting their eyes, and your design is not really inclusive because you did not put them in mind. So inclusivity means that everyone is included, no matter their disabilities and their abilities. So that is what makes up a user interface. So next I'm going to be talking about user interface design as a career. Now, what is the job description of a user interface designer? A user interface designer collaborates with product management to define and implement visual designs. They design and present key deliverables to stakeholders. A user interface design uses storyboard, user flow, joining maps to depict design ideas. It is also the job of a user interface designer to establish and promote design guidelines, best practices, and standards. It's also the job of a user interface designer to conduct user research and evaluate user feedback. So these are what is required of a UI designer. It could be more, it could be less. It depends on the company that you are affiliated with. What are the skills of a UI designer? So there are certain skills a UI designer is supposed to have. For example, soft skills and technical skills. So the soft skills are basically skills that does not require technicality, meaning that a UI designer is supposed to be able to communicate properly. Your written and oral communication should be very intact. Next is that you should be able to solve problems creatively and effectively as a UI designer. You should be able to work individually and part of a team. And most importantly, you should be able to manage your time. So these are some skills, some basic skills you need to have as a UI designer. So next I'm going to talk about the technical skills of a UI designer. This means that as a UI designer, you are meant to have basic graphic design skills. You should be able to make simple graphic images using colors, using images, and bring them together to make graphic designs. Because most times you're going to be making custom images and custom flyers for your company, or you'll be making custom icons and custom illustrations for your brand. So it's important for you to know a basic or a little of graphic design. And there's some software you use to learn graphic design, like Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator. You could also use Canva for graphic design. If you get familiar with these technical skills, they'll give you an edge in becoming a UI designer. So now that you've known what is required of a UI designer, it's important to know the salary of UI designers in some part of the world. In the US, annually, a UI designer is being paid from $75,000 to $80,000 annually. In the UK, it's about £35,000 to £50,000 annually in the UK. And in Nigeria, the country that I am from, UI designers are usually paid 150,000 naira monthly as an entry-level UI designer to 300,000 naira, and it actually depends on the company. It actually depends on your location and your job requirements. If you're looking for UI jobs, I've left in the description some links you can easily access remote jobs or local jobs depending on your country or depending on your region. So you can head over to the description to check out this website to get UI design jobs. So thank you for staying up to this moment, and if you found value in this video, or if you like to get more videos like this, kindly subscribe, like, and share this video to someone who might need it or who it might interest. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video.